All right, yeah. I think I'll just start yapping, and we'll see where it goes. Right? I think that's like the best way to make a YouTube video is just keep it authentic. And with that, yeah. What's good, fellas? Welcome to my first real YouTube video. In this video, we're gonna be talking about what it means to leave a legacy. I got some Minecraft footage that I wanted to record and share because I've been playing on a Minecraft world, and it's pretty good. It's my creative outlet, so I think we might make this into a series and expand the world as we go on. We'll just play it by ear. I don't know. I'm having fun playing Minecraft for the first time since I was a kid, so I just thought it'd be a good background footage. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to talk about leaving a legacy and what that really means. Sorry if you hear me adjusting my headset. I'm itchy. What it really means to leave a legacy and why we feel compelled to do it. I feel like it's a very natural feeling to want to be remembered for something, right? And that's kind of all that a legacy is. It's like how you will be remembered by those around you once you're gone, right? At the end of the day, that's what it is. It's like, what did this person contribute to society, to the people around them, to their local and global community, in a way, I feel like people feel obligated to quote unquote leave a legacy to prove that they existed. It's to say, here are my accomplishments in life. I want to be remembered, and this is what I will be remembered for. It's like, what imprint can I make on the world and to the people around me? What lessons will I pass on, and what will that mean for those going forward, and for the next people, and for the next people, and yada yada yada. But I think it's also important to note that in my brain, the more I've been thinking about this, I feel like there's different reasons for wanting to leave a legacy. There's the general want to be remembered, to say, I existed at one point. But it could be something more specific, and maybe the legacy isn't the reason you do things. Maybe you do things because you want to, and that in turn has you leave a legacy without it being the intent, if that makes sense. So I feel like a better definition for what it means to leave a legacy isn't necessarily what you'll be remembered for, or the reason for wanting to leave a legacy isn't, well, I shouldn't say isn't, but the reason could be to leave something better than you found it, rather than saying, I want to be remembered and this is how I'm going to do it. In my mind, there's no right or wrong reason, but in my mind, doing things for the sake of being remembered feels a little selfish. Maybe I'm off the mark there, but that's just kind of where my brain first goes. Whereas, if you say, oh, I noticed this problem, and excuse me, if you say oh, I noticed this problem, and I came up with this solution, and now the people in my local area are their lives are better for it, or thousands of people now use my product and their lives are being better, or whatever the example is. It's it feels more selfless to leave a legacy on the terms of, because you want to better society, I guess. And on that note, I feel like it's also interesting that you can't really choose how you'll be remembered, because everybody has a different perspective of you, and equally as important, you have a different perspective of yourself than everybody else does. So even if you wanted to say this is how I want to be remembered, that might work for some people, but that might be that might be a positive thing for some people, but that might also be a negative thing for other people. So that's another reason in my mind why it's better to not leave a legacy for the sake of leaving a legacy, but, to rather want to leave your own imprint on those around and whether that's like providing lessons or I don't know. It could be anything. It could be anything. It's also made me think about like monuments and like statues of people, or like this building is like dedicated to this person. Like those are legacies, and those are for the future people, the future generations to look at and be like, oh, that's, this person did a good thing, or like, oh, that's cool, this person donated for this good cause, and they're being remembered for it. I don't know whether that's whatever your reasons for wanting to do that are. It's not for me to decide. It's just something that I've been thinking about a lot recently. And it's also made me think about how I was brought up too, about like when I was. So I've been on this topic about like bettering society, and that's kind of like the foundation for what it means to leave a legacy and how that happens in the first place. But it made me think about when I was growing up too. It's like you get asked the question like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, what job do you want to have? And I didn't really know, but I didn't know the answer to that myself, and I still don't. I'm 25. That's besides the point. I just remember a time when like if you said, oh, I wanted to be a doctor, or I want to be a firefighter, or I want to be a scientist or whatever, like a garbage man. Like those are all things that would be praised. Like unquestionably, those were like, oh, that's great, and maybe there's the money aspect of that. Like, oh, those are good jobs for, making good money. You'll be able to support your family financially when the time comes when that you need to do that and all that stuff. But there's also the side of like, oh, that's like, those are jobs that we need to be filled. While on the other hand, I feel like more creative jobs, like being an artist or a musician or any other creative job, I'm having a hard time like thinking of something that's in the creative realm. But essentially something, I don't want to say like a pointless job, but a job that doesn't directly benefit the community. I feel like in my experience growing up as a kid, we're met with like supportive responses, but they were like, there was a tinge of like, I don't know, compassion. I don't know what the right word is, but a general response would be like, well, it's I'm happy that you're pursuing your interests, rather than like, oh, that's great, like you should definitely do that, like that's awesome, and a lot of people will be helped by that. It's like, oh, that's good. Like, you should definitely do that. Like, don't, that kind of thing. Like, I don't know. It wasn't something that was, like, blatantly said to me as, like, it's wrong, but I just got a different vibe as a kid. And, yeah, it's one of the things that's been making me think about this question of, like, leaving a legacy, because it's been making me ask myself, like, what do I want to be remembered for, Like, what are people going to remember me when my time is over? And also, like, this is an important distinction. Leaving a legacy, I feel like I've been saying that word a lot. I feel like I'm overusing it, or that phrase, but the act of like being remembered doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're dead. Like obviously that's the ultimate goodbye, but it could also be like you're just saying goodbye to your close friends or to your community. Like, how you'll be remembered doesn't mean that you're never going to be there again. It could be that you're just like moving job, or you're moving towns, or you're moving away from the people that you once knew, and which arguably I would say is like more obvious. It's more often the case because you can like join a community, you can move towns, you could like meet a new set of people from this new hobby. You can do that like theoretically like an infinite amount of times, right? Whereas like you die once and then it's over, and then that's the ultimate goodbye and the ultimate legacy. That like, how will you be remembered? It's like the one-page memorial on your grave or in the newspaper or whatever. Anyway, I felt like that was important to say too, because there might be like a tinge of like leaving a legacy means you're dead, but that's not the case. You know, that doesn't need to be the case, I should say. So yeah, it's just been, this is a topic that's been on my mind for a while, and I just wanted to talk about it, get my thoughts out there, because it's been making me think of like, what legacy am I going to leave behind? Like, how will people remember me? And I feel like one of the big things for me, like one of the things I actually get a lot of satisfaction out of, is like teaching people new things, like, you know, spreading my knowledge from my interests and stuff. Like, I've been helping my friend work out, you know, get into the gym, and I've got a lot of knowledge to share, and it's cool to see him improve and grow and learn more and stuff. But I was also like a manager at my old job, and my, you know, essentially my job was to teach people like how to do the job, you know? And I don't know, I feel like I get a lot of satisfaction out of that, out of like teaching people how to be better in whatever aspect I can help with that. So in my own way, I guess that's my own legacy that I'm leaving on the people around me, you know? But I've just been thinking about it more big picture, and I don't really have an answer, I guess. I don't really know how I'll be remembered, and I won't know until, well, maybe I won't know. You know, maybe that's just it, because I'll either be gone or dead. But that time's not coming anytime soon, I hope. But anyway, that's all I had to say for this video. The background footage is me building a fountain in Minecraft. I got the idea from, well, I just looked up on YouTube like how to build a fountain, and it was one of the first responses to come up. So I think if I were to make this a series, I would want to, like, you know, each video like build something new, and then over time you can see how the world grows. And I have a lot of ideas for what I want to do with this world, so I feel like that'd be a really cool idea. So let me know how I did. Let me know any ideas you have about the barn in the background, because I feel like it looks like shit. But I don't know, I was proud. The goal with that house was to make a curved roof, and I did that. And that's all I cared about, even though the color's a little ugly. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the topic. Let me know your thoughts on this potentially becoming a series. That's kind of all I got. So I guess I'll see you in the next one. If you like the video then, duh. And subscribe for more. That would help a lot. And with that, I am out. Peace.